This is video 2 in the Shrinky Dink Art. This is for if you've decided that you would like to make a pair of earrings. So here are the materials you need. You're going to need your sketchbook. You're going to need a piece of the Shrinky Dink material. Okay, it's a rectangle here, it's hard to see. You're going to need a ruler, your pencil, a pair of scissors, and then you need either colored Sharpies or colored pencils. Okay, so I'm going to show you two different choices here. So this piece of Shrinky Dink you can actually cut up and make a couple different things. So what I'm going to do is actually cut this into a couple sections here. So I'm going to make 1 inch wide rectangles. So I want to get 2 of those. So I'm going to use my ruler and I'm going to mark. And then I'm going to connect my lines. You know, 2 points make a straight line. And then I'm going to cut right on those lines there. So I'm going to have like more rectangle earrings here. And then with this other piece, I'm just going to cut this in half on the diagonal because I want some triangles. Because I want to show you two different things with the earrings. Okay, so I'm going to start with my rectangles here. If you want to add Sharpie, it's pretty straightforward. You just have to use the extra fine and the fine point Sharpies to come up with some cool designs. And you might say, like, I have no idea where to start. Well, I have some things that you can look at. It's basically doodling on these pieces of Shrinky Dink. So you kind of work larger and then we're going to shrink it in the oven and it'll kind of make your design look really amazing, really small. I like to start with some kind of border personally, but you don't have to. I've made a pair that didn't have a border as well. I've got to just free form in this. I'm kind of hanging on to the very, very edge of it very carefully so I don't smudge my Sharpie until it's dry. I could fill this in. So you might have heard of Zentangles, which are like cool designs or way of drawing. I'm going to show you a book in 1 second. And you can use Zentangles. That's what I did for this pair here. So they're different Zentangle designs. Or you can just come up with your own design. I mean, ultimately you could create anything on these. You could do any kind of drawing. As long as you've done it once, I can show you a quick trick to kind of copy it onto the second one. So I'm going to start here with this frame, and then I'm going to look at I have these little Tangle cards. If you want, you can borrow some of these. You can look at these. So they have different designs. So all over here. That's like kind of a cool one. It's called Mirror, I guess. So if you go to the back, it gives you the directions for actually how to do the design. So I think I'm going to work in black now. You can do these in different colors. You don't have to just work in black, but you could if you wanted to. And it looks like the lines go the other direction here. And remember to use the different size Sharpies so you have some variety in lines. And don't forget to like fill in some places solid so you have like that nice variety as well. Okay, then it has like these little dots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep working on this one until it's done, and then I'll show you the next steps. But a trick, if you want to make 2 matching pairs of earrings, is once you get your first design done, you can take your second piece and lay it right over the top, and you basically just trace the design that you just put in there on the top of this one, and then you'll get the exact same design for underneath, which is kind of cool. I need to put the border on too, but you get the idea. Okay, so if you want to use colored pencil, the only difference is you have to prepare your surface a little bit differently. So these earrings are the colored pencil, and they're like a little bit more subtle. So what you have to do is you need to take a piece of 300 or 400 grit sandpaper. And you know that the sandpaper, if you turn it over, or abrasive paper, I think that's what they call it in technology, abrasive paper. If you turn it over, this is a 320, so the numbers here on the back tell you what grit it is. So you need to just sand this, and they suggest when you sand to sand this direction and then to sand this direction, if that makes sense. So just lightly, and the reason you sand this just lightly is so that you take kind of like the shininess off the Shrinky Dink paper, so your color pencil will actually stick. Okay, so now that I have this done, I gotta decide which orientation I want them. Maybe like this, that'd be kind of cool. And you can take your colored pencils and you can do the same thing. You can come up with a design. You know, if you're having a hard time making a decision about how to start, trace your shape in your sketchbook and do like a plan, do a pre-plan of what you think you want to do. So before you start on paper, because I'm not giving you any extra of the Shrinky Dink paper. So, you know, come up with a design of any kind that you want. So maybe I wanted to start with something like this. And the cool thing with the colored pencils that you can't do with the Sharpie is you can do shading. So if you wanted to do some shading where you have maybe a darker here and have it kind of fade to something lighter or fade to another color, you can't do that with Sharpie. You absolutely can do that with colored pencil, and it looks really cool. So good luck. Show me your steps along the way. You're going to need to keep really good track of your materials. So you're definitely going to want to keep your things in like an envelope, okay, because you don't want to lose these pieces. So keep them in an envelope, or you can make a little envelope out of a piece of paper and some staples, so you don't lose any of your items. And then you can keep them in the front of your sketchbook, or you can keep them in your folder. Good luck, and I can't wait to see what you create.